Another episode. Here we go. Took about a month off there, maybe a little over a month, actually. Summertime, we're down at the shore. We're cruising around on vacations, whatever we're doing. So I said, let's get back on air and let's get back on with somebody good, right? Somebody who is in the business, who's on the front lines right now, seeing it every day, doing it every day. Obviously we don't have many commercial guys on either. So this is something different for us too, because we're usually in the residential field, but opening up the commercial field here, I think it's going to give you guys an insight of the changeover if you go from residential to commercial. And we have somebody here that's going to tell us about that. So John Fee, right? McCann Commercial.
Correct.
Right. You formerly just...
No, it was always McCann. I actually worked by
myself. It was always
prior.
McCann. Right. Yeah. Okay. So he made the changeover from, regular McCann to McCann Commercial.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, you tell us about yourself. Yeah. How'd you get?
We could sit here for an hour and I could tell you about the story.
We only have an hour.
For me, it started off actually working by myself, more so in the investment side of the business, just specifically wholesaling. I was really young. I got into the business when I was 19.
Yeah.
So
you still look 19.
I'm trying to. I got in when I was 19. I was actually in college at the time, and this was 2020, so during COVID, and I went in.
Got in at the time of COVID.
Yeah.
Wow.
So my first
things
semester,
were great.
Yeah. I had it was like a 2-year run where I'm like, real estate's the best business in the world.
Thing in the world. Right. A lot of guys like you started. In that era because it was like money falling from the sky.
Yeah, right. And I think starting then and then seeing the sell-off, I mean, we're going down a rabbit hole, but I think starting in that high time and having to work down that downward trend where the market really sold off. And then
2022.
Exactly.
Right. We saw the crash.
You can get through that and you're starting from the 2020, 2021 market and you can get through that dip. I think, it's really...
What made you want to just get into real estate to begin with? Like, did you just say, I want to do this or like... Or did somebody come to you and say, hey man, I think you should get into this?
No, I've always worked for myself, hustled when I was young, landscaping company in high school. I would have, I'd have my truck and full size white box trailer parked in our student parking lot because I would get out of school and cut grass till it was dark every night.
Nice.
So that was kind of my mentality.
You had the hustler mentality already.
Exactly.
Right.
So I guess it was always there. And I went into college, University of Scranton in 2020. And it was COVID year. So we were locked in our dorms, COVID test every other day. It was craziness. So we had all this extra time, or at least I did. And I'm thinking like, I just needed to do something. It's like the college, run around. It's a great time, but it's just not something I'm going to devote all my time to. And just not something I'm interested in. So I got into real estate wholesaling virtually and around the country. And it was from the day I picked up my first book on wholesaling to the first day I made $1, 18 full months.
Wow.
18 months, I think 12.
Just learning the business and learning what to do and the ins and the outs and the whole nine.
Yeah.
Right.
Like starting from nothing. My parents, they're both in pharmaceuticals. So there's no real estate necessarily plug in.
There was nothing.
No. Which was people that start significantly, in difficult scenarios than I did. But it just got into the business and it was like 12 or 13,000 cold calls, just trying my luck. It's kind of just like shooting blanks or shooting blindly. It's kind of how it felt.
You started in 2020 and it was with McCann right away?
No, it was actually, so I started wholesaling 1 to 4 unit residential properties all around the country. I was doing deals in Florida, Alabama, South Carolina. Really cool business.
Right.
And then the market sold off in 2022.
Right.
So that model
ended.
That model went kaput.
Go on.
It was out. And now I'm thinking, okay, I'm up on the top of the world.
What am I going to do?
What are we going to do from here? So from then, I just said, whenever there's a time where I may not know where to go or know what to do or know what the next steps are, I need to be talking to as many people as possible. So that meant LinkedIn, I was setting 4 or 5 meetings a week. Facebook, real estate groups, I was setting 3 or 4 different calls or meetings a week. Just talking to everyone in my network to spread my roots as far as they could. And I knew an opportunity would pop up.
Okay. That's
how I met McCann. Just through a mutual conversation with a contact that we both had at the time. And they were emerging McCann Commercial that year. Okay. So there's 2 other guys involved in it at the time. And I sat down with Jim Onesti, current partner of mine, Mike McCann, a current partner of mine. And I'm still in college at the time, junior. I drive 3 hours home from Scranton, Pennsylvania to Philadelphia. And I sit down and I didn't really know what I was even walking into. I wasn't really familiar with Mike McCann. I grew up in Southern New Jersey.
Right.
So
you didn't know him too well.
no. And I sat down with him and I just started kind of spewing like, hey, this is what I've done so far by myself. This is the amount of deals I've done, and just all from college. And he just sat there and he's like, wow. Like, all right, let's see how we can implement you in McCann Commercial, in this new commercial arm of the McCann team. So I said, hey, I'd love that. Like any opportunity, I'm all open, all ears.
Right.
And then 2 weeks later, I hopped on. Still from school, working remotely.
So you were one of the first to start the whole whole commercial team there.
I can't take credit for having the initial idea.
Why not? We'll give you credit anyway. No, I'm just
I'll take it. But I was one of the initial members. I think I was the third or the fourth. That was kind of the first couple of pieces of it. So that's kind of how I linked up with McCann years ago.
Now every week we see somebody switching over to
the team's grown.
Really?
The team's grown.
And a lot of big names, guys. A lot of guys that even had on the show here that have switched over.
Yeah.
DeMarco, maybe? Is Marco?
I don't think he did.
Okay. There's a few other guys in Jim Roach's teams, I think, that switched over.
Sam. Great guy.
Yes.
Great guy. He's incredible.
Okay. So I know I keep seeing more and more names that jump over.
Yeah, we've been slowly growing the team. And it's
how many guys now?
We're in the mid-teens right now.
Okay.
Anywhere from 13 to 15. I lose count at sometimes.
Is there that much business to go around in the?
I would say there always is.
Really?
There always is in this market, of course. But there's just so many
in Philly or just everywhere.
Philadelphia MSA, so that's Philadelphia, the great, the burbs,
right. Okay.
A little bit of northern Delaware, and then all of South Jersey, except for the shore.
Okay.
I would say there's more than plenty, of course. It's a great market to work in. But those are our guys that are on the brokerage side, and then I focus on, which is McCann Capital, which is the capital markets, aka commercial lending side of the business. So we complement each other.
So you could do the real estate side if you wanted to because you're licensed, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You're just choosing to do the lending side of the commercial business.
Exactly.
Which, guys, is not easy. Okay.
No.
I do the residential side, obviously, and I've never dipped my nose into the commercial side because I know that that's a whole different ball game.
Well, I think they're two different beasts, residential and commercial.
It's just a different world, right? But it takes a lot longer to close a commercial deal versus residential. We fly through 21, 30 days, boom.
A quick deal for us is 60.
60 days.
That's like, we really hit our mark on this one.
So you really got to be disciplined to do this and budget correctly. Yeah. Right? Because you guys are commissioned.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So you kill what you eat.
Exactly.
Right.
Just like any other agent or
same
LO.
Thing. Yeah.
It's the same exact process.
Same thing. So there's a little lag there between when you're getting paid.
Oh yeah. It's just about stacking the pipeline.
Right. So you're just piling them on.
Yeah.
And then eventually your pipeline is just churning and burning as you have more and more in.
And then it's fine, Right. And then of course we have our summer dips. We get that. We have our, couple week in January dip, which is normal. But overall, the sales cycle it's a little bit longer, but it ebbs and flows just like the residential market does.
Okay.
So I would say, other than the deal process itself, our business model, really from a bird's eye view, it is very similar in some ways to residential with how you guys are prospecting, bringing in deals, stacking pipeline, et cetera, et cetera.
You're getting a big portion of your business from loan officers that are feeding you directly, or is it just you face to face with realtors on the street that are doing commercial business?
Yeah, McCann's network's been huge. We don't get a large portion from other loan officers. We get some, a good handful, but leveraging McCann's name and McCann's network opened us up to multiple different market centers within Keller Williams themselves.
So you're getting the business through that.
Exactly, which that's a big piece of it. So you have several, probably just about 1,000 agents, if not more, that are within this entire MSA, Delaware, Philadelphia.
So they're just giving you the commercial business as it comes in.
Exactly, because they will do 1 to 3 deals a year if they're an active realtor. 1 to 3 deals a year that fall into our bucket where there's a commercial component to it. Okay. So we filled the gap there, and then of course we have probably the biggest part of our pipeline just from commercial real estate brokers themselves, guys that are transacting on these deals. Okay. We'll sit in with commercial real estate shops, we'll chat with other brokers, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay. All right. So you go through, you go 2022 and then you go through to where we are now. And obviously you're successful now, doing what you're doing, which is great. Let's really get into the nitty of it because we got a lot of realtors that watch this show, right? A lot of young realtors that are just getting into the business and they're looking up to guys like you now, right?
I'm trying my best.
Yeah. I mean, they are. So what makes a successful person right now in this current market? There's only so many that are successful. I'm seeing more fail. Yeah. Right. What is it like? 2 out of 10 loan officers and realtors are making it in this market right now. And the other 8 are falling.
The ratio
is crazy.
It's crazy.
It's that scary.
Yeah.
A lot of them I know that are just getting out.
Right.
They're going MIA.
Right.
Right. You don't even talk to them. When somebody's getting out when they go MIA.
Right.
They're not telling you they're getting out. Right. They're just going quiet.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So what do you think what builds that person to make it through right now? What's the difference?
The difference I would say is understanding what the true end goal is and then removing anything that could hinder getting there. What I mean by that, I know that's very broad. But I would say just having an extreme level of endurance to go through a time where you may not have the big office. You may not have the fancy car. You may not have the fancy suit for a year or two, maybe longer, but it's about having true resilience, something that McCann taught me. True resilience and endurance is the only thing you can have. Right. It's that simple.
And the problem is that a lot of people are show right now, right? So there's a lot of glitz and glam.
That's what I mentioned earlier. Remove that.
Right.
Remove
and
that
I think the problem is people don't want to remove that.
No,
they like to portray that.
Especially in such a digital age,
right? Which
I'm a part of it. So maybe I look at it a little differently, but we live in an age and a time where everyone just wants to show their flowers.
Right.
And
everybody's doing great.
Yeah. And if maybe you can take a year or two to maybe go dark, like you mentioned, and plant some seeds, then maybe you're going to have a bigger garden than everyone in a year or two.
Right. You come out of nowhere then.
Exactly.
Because you built your business away from the spotlight.
Yeah. Exactly that. I heard a saying one time was, everyone wants to be a gardener, but they clip the first flower to show everyone they have a flower.
Well, sure.
Right.
That first deal, all of a sudden they're God.
And that's it. So I think removing that emotion from I need to be successful yesterday and saying, hey, this is going to be a long process. It's going to take a lot of time and a lot of endurance out of me. But I know if I stick out the first 2 years and I can come out on the other end successful, it's going to be.
I don't think a lot of people are willing to do the work. That's the problem.
That too. It's a different age where
they don't want to work like that.
No, which is nice for the people that do. The guys like you and I.
Sure, when we clean up.
Yeah.
Because we know that they don't want to work, right?
Yeah.
I mean, listen, I keep saying that not everybody's cut out for this.
Right. Agreed.
It doesn't mean you're a bad person.
No.
It just means you're just not cut out for it.
No, you just have different entrance tendencies.
You're not just right. You got to be, like you said, you have to be a certain person to have the endurance to do this every day.
Yeah.
And no matter if it's a bad day or a good day, we got to come in the next day and do it again.
Exactly.
If a deal blows up the day before closing, we're going to still come in the next day and do the business like nothing ever happened.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that's hard.
Yeah. And even I don't want to sit up, on this podcast and act like I've never dealt with that, as I struggled with
I'm sure
tremendously, especially when you're so young and you get into a deal and you're a few days out from closing and it's your world. I completely idolize these transactions, which is something that I can only advise against. So I'd get my,
I quit every month.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've told other realtors this on the, I literally quit every month.
Yeah.
Because something happens, the deal explodes, there's problems, we can't get a CO on the deal, that means I can't close. There's an inspection issue, the appraisal comes in low, whatever it may be.
Right.
And you're right, you're banking on that.
Yeah.
And then when that doesn't happen, you just crushes you mentally.
Yeah. And it's how quickly can you come back down to your baseline level of emotion?
And I think that's very hard.
Yeah, but I think that's what sets people apart is the successful people from maybe the folks that weren't successful is, how low did you get and did that tank you or did you just go straight back to your baseline?
How many times in the last 6 years have you said to yourself, maybe this is not for me?
Oh, initially because I went into it completely alone. So I had no one necessarily to keep me going. My parents supported me greatly, but they were supporting me in an industry that, they weren't familiar with. They crush in pharmaceuticals. So it wasn't necessarily always there, but it was, when it was really tough, it was like once a week. I was like, is this really for me? I was like, should I be doing this? But I just stayed in it. I knew I couldn't do anything else.
Yeah. So are you a guy that goes in the office every day or
every single day?
So you're in the office every day.
You ask McCann or Onesti, I'm in there every single day.
Every day.
I love it. I can't do a remote.
And you go where, to the main line, I guess, or is it over here?
I'll stop in the main line every now and again. I'll stop, or really Broad Street a good bit.
Broad Street, okay.
Yeah. So I'll stop in there with the McCann folks.
And then nobody's in there. I mean, is it dead?
Some days you got to plan accordingly. But honestly, I don't mind it because I can make, phone calls, meetings quick and kind of a little bit peace and quiet, which is nice. So it's not about necessarily the atmosphere of the people around me, which they add to the energy. It's awesome. It's more so walking into an environment where I know I'm only going to work versus a home office where I can work or I could sit on the couch.
Right.
Or I can go to the gym down the street.
Yeah.
It's a different atmosphere.
Right.
When I'm in the office.
So you're focused.
Exactly.
So you think that's a huge part of success is to go to the office for you every day?
I would say to really, it doesn't even, age doesn't have an impact on it. I would say to anyone that is looking to get to a next level, you need to be in a place of work at least 4 to 5 days a week, full day, like 10 to 12 is.
So when do you go in and when do you leave?
I like to get in before 8. That's like a good time I'm happy with. It's when it comes to leaving, it's whenever the work for that day is truly done.
So 6, 5, 7.
After 6, I'm happy. But usually it'll be between 6 and 7:30.
It's a long day, guys.
Yeah. In the winter, I just camp out there.
Because there's nothing, right.
Yeah. I don't want to go outside. I'm just,
right. What are you doing?
Might as well stay there.
So you're just straight working, meetings, whatever it may be.
Yep.
That's good, man. I mean, that's not easy.
No.
Because that's the old school what we used to do. Yeah. Like we used to get in the office first thing in the morning at 7:30, 8 o'clock and not leave till 6. I mean, those were your hours.
Yeah, that was it.
That was it. You had to.
Yeah.
Like there was no negotiation. It was in the office working, banging the phones, calling people, going to closings, setting meetings, brainstorming with other people in the office, whatever you may be.
Mm-hmm. And it's successful.
And now the pandemic destroyed that whole thing. And now everybody wants to work from home. And like you said,
it's going to come back.
Hang out and, but do you see more people coming in the office?
I haven't necessarily seen the same prior. I mean, I also wasn't working in an office every day prior to COVID. But from what I know now, yes, has there been a relapse into office space? Definitely. We've seen a lot of big companies go back to, at least a 3-day, 4-day minimum.
Yeah.
It's not what it was. I would say, let's have this conversation 8 to 10 years. And I would say it's going to keep on trending that way.
Going up.
We're humans. We're not meant to be solo. We need some sort of humanly connection.
I agree. I mean, the problem is that on our end, on the residential side, not many people go in the office.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
you guys are on the road.
And even going into a realtor's office,
right.
There's nobody there.
Right.
Because the realtors don't want to go in.
Right.
They stop in maybe here and there, then they're gone.
Yeah.
So you're really not going to catch them.
Yeah.
Unless you specifically say, are you going to be in your office at 2 o'clock today? I would like to stop by or meet you or whatever.
Yeah. I would give the realtor position a little bit more grace simply because it is more of a dynamic position. You're running to open houses, you're running to tours, showings, et cetera, et cetera. But I would say, and my sister's a realtor included, I tell her the same thing. If you can devote 2 to 4 hours a day where you are in a place of work, no distractions, you're not leaving, and you focus just on prospecting and what generates you the most amount of business, and then you devote the other 4 to 6 hours remaining in your day to just running around, your business is going to skyrocket completely.
Right. It's all about the prospecting.
Yeah.
Does she do that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So she listens to you.
Well, yeah.
That's good.
Well, she doesn't necessarily listen just to me.
Yeah, she understands what it takes. Right.
Yeah.
Right. I think that you're right. If you can't try to devote, the prospecting is the key. And I think people get bored of prospecting because it doesn't work for them.
Well, it doesn't yield a fruit day one. It never will yield a fruit day one.
Everybody's looking for immediate
They want to clip their flower and go show it. That's exactly what it is.
They want to meet with 16 people that week.
Right.
And get 10 deals.
Right.
And then they're done.
That's just not how that works.
You know,
Unfortunately.
it's like you grind every single day, every single week, and you're right until you do it. You're a big LinkedIn guy.
I took a little bit of a hiatus off LinkedIn, but I just dove back into it, and I love it. It's an incredible app.
What how do you get business off of LinkedIn?
So I'm going to contradict the question a little bit. I'm not a guy that necessarily goes on LinkedIn for business. I don't believe LinkedIn is for a deal specifically. I look at it as LinkedIn is for my own personal roots, network, and the people that I know. And if that yields business and deals, then that's awesome.
Okay.
But really it's for future opportunity, growth, and knowing people in the industry just like this and we're having here.
Yeah.
Like relationships like
Making connections.
Exactly is what I'm looking for on that app.
Right.
Not necessarily the client.
To actually get business.
Yeah. And maybe those relationships will then yield business one day. But it's more so I want to grow the relationships, which will plant the seeds for business in the future. So it's kind of a step behind directly going to business.
Okay. Do you go to a lot of networking events too or no?
I do. It's tough because I'm usually working alone a lot. So popping into a lot of these, like I showed up to some just completely alone and I walk in, I'm like, I don't know the person in this room. And I'm the youngest by 10 years. So you factor how I look walking in.
Dude, I hear you, man.
It's incredible.
How many times I walked out, I don't know anybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, what am I doing here?
Which that
it throws you into it.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is, it's like a David and Goliath story. You're walking into just this room of people you have no idea.
Yeah. You have no idea who anybody is.
Yeah. And for me starting off, everyone in this room was doing more business than I was. So you have all these things looking in on you. And my biggest thing is I just try to find a joy in it. Try to find a silver lining of, hey, I'm just walking in here just to chat.
Do you think you should, with the networking events, it's better to go with a team?
So it can help. I would say walk in with 1 to 2 other guys that you know, and then 3 or each of you split off into your own conversations. So now you have 3 or 4 different conversations going on and then bring all of those people back
together.
So it's your network at times 3.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I'm not big with the networking anymore events because I'm stuck in the job.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I guess it's a good thing, right?
It is a good thing.
Yeah.
I'd rather be stuck in the job.
Exactly.
But a lot of people say you're wrong for that. You should be. It doesn't matter how much you're stuck in the job. You should be out getting more.
Right.
You know,
this is one of Onesti's saying, it's the 80-20 rule. So 20% of your work is going to yield 80% of your business.
Right.
So those cold calls, those meetings, those networking events are really going to yield that other 80% of your time.
So what's going on in the market? I know you see it every day, right? It's a buyer's market. It's a seller's market. What's going on out there?
Commercial, it's really boiled down by asset class. So it's not necessarily a buyer's or a seller's market in whole. There's certain assets like small bay industrial absolutely crushes. So that is 2 to 12,000 square foot industrial spaces. So warehouses.
So nothing crazy.
No, but with the drive-in door, they'll fly off the shelves all day long because you have small and large investors going after them, but you also have small to medium-sized business going after them, owner operators.
Right.
So they go very crazy. Obviously, office isn't moving at all unless it's an owner user. So it's a company that needs it for themselves.
Okay.
Multifamily is always going to trade, right? It's
multifamily is the way, right?
Yeah, debated. It's debatably the top and best asset class, most traded.
Look at you're doing what the 4 to this 5, 6, 7 units, 8 units, the big ones. What are you doing?
We're doing anywhere from the biggest one I've done is 32. 32 units. So we get up, I like to say 50 or below. So in the multifamily world, really that's small. You guys like look at the Piazza. Like they're throwing on another 400 units right now.
Wow.
And they'll be up to 1,200, I think.
That's insane.
Incredible builds. Those guys are unbelievable. But
are the office buildings empty here in Center City?
They've been reabsorbing over the years. I am not the most in depth with office leasing itself. I used to be a little bit more, but I do know there was the mass exodus in 2020, 2021.
Oh yeah.
But I do know I see a lot of law firms that need that space because that's a business that has to be in person. They've been reabsorbing a lot of that open square footage, and it seems like those are the deals that are happening up there.
Being done. Yeah. Yeah.
But it seems like
what parts of Philly right now are the best?
Well, it depends on what.
I guess for these small businesses, I guess all these small business owners are looking to, like, you see that in Center City, you're seeing that in South Philly, you're seeing that where?
As far as office?
Yeah. Like if I wanted to start a small business, like, these small business owners, these corner stores and things like that.
I wouldn't go to Center City just because the price per square foot on rent is going to be through the moon.
Really?
You're going to be paying anywhere from, in Center City proper, you're going to be paying, depending on the space and how it's delivered, anywhere from high 30s to high 40s per square foot. You're just going to get crushed. That's the place to be if you're a chain or if you're an established brand and you have a presence.
Now, how about the Fish Towns and the Kensingtons and all? Is that exploding still over there?
That's where I would go. If we're more of your mom and pop small business,
right,
and you want to open up a small
They're
corner
going
store
over there.
I would go to Fishtown. Northern Liberties is pretty saturated right now. It's blown up. But I would even come down here to South Philly. I would go to Fishtown.
South Philly's a different market, man.
Yeah.
As you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got an old school.
Yeah.
People here, right?
I think that's a lot more homegrown.
It's all homegrown, right?
Yeah.
So you got a lot of Italian here that that they only stick to who they go with and who they know. Mm-hmm. And I think it's tougher to open a business down here unless you already have some type of.
You have to be tied in.
Yeah, you have to have some type of name or relation of some sort.
Yeah,
in order to make it big here.
Which I think that's only more value to this neighborhood.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, I wasn't raised here. My grandmother was raised here in South Philly. So I can kind of hear it and what it was like from her. But I would say it, like I said, it only gives it more value to an operator. If you can crush it here in South Philly, you can probably crush it anywhere.
Yeah.
So
KW and McCann are the biggest in the city right now.
The residential team, they're number one. They're crushing it right now.
They are crushing it.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got...
I can't even tell you what number of agents he has.
It's ridiculous.
It's up there. Yeah. They've been crushing it.
I always say, is there that many deals going around? I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah. They go all the way down to the shore, right?
Right. So they do everywhere.
Yeah. They go from, probably Pottstown all the way down to Cape May. So they're covering that entire region. There has to be.
Yeah.
So
a good question that I get is just like, what's a red flag automatically that makes you question a deal?
Oh, and commercial. Great question.
Yeah. Because I know there's we got a lot of red flags, right?
Yeah.
On the residential, but the commercial end is different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Poor planning and poor due diligence. So if I get into an initial conversation or an onboarding call with a borrower and I can tell maybe they're very loose with how they're speaking, they don't really know much or what's going on about the property. I can tell they haven't been doing their due diligence on the deal itself. Naturally, that's not a good fight because these commercial deals have so many steps and they're so intricate that if you're not crossing your T's, dotting your I's from, I wouldn't even say day one, I would say day zero, prior to even looking at the deal, you don't have that level of due diligence, you're just not going to get in on the deal. It's not going to happen. Okay. It's too competitive if it is a true deal, or B, the deal is just going to fall apart because something that the borrower might not have been accounting for, like extra cash down or I could go on for a year.
I think that's the biggest thing we're having on the residential side and all the residential loan officers that are watching this. People don't have money.
Yeah.
They want to put minimal down. They want
Right.
grants.
Right.
They want this and they want that. And what do you mean? I'm a first time buyer. I shouldn't be putting anything down. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Everybody's entitled to something, it feels.
Right. We get a little bit of overlap with FHA guidelines.
FHA.
And I get a lot of calls like, hey, can I do a commercial FHA loan? I'm like, if they existed, I would be throwing them out the door right now.
They don't. It's not.
They don't, unfortunately.
No,
And
no. I mean, it would be nice. Sure.
It would. And
it's 3.5% down. I'm buying a 20,000 square foot building for 3.5% down.
Yeah.
What is the minimal down you need on it?
So
on a commercial loan?
You can boil commercial deals down into two buckets, and that is investment properties, no explanation needed, and then owner users, so businesses that are going to occupy the building. For your investment deals, you're at 25% down. Okay. On a really strong investment deal, probably get you to
20% down. Okay.
On an owner user, in theory, really you can get down to 10%, but that's working with the SBA, which is a government business-backed loan. There's a ton of red tape around SBA.
It's not easy. Right.
No. So I would say on a conventional commercial loan, you're looking at 15 to 20% down for owner users.
Right. We're doing a ton of DSCR.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the number one product.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
On the investment side.
Yep.
Are you guys doing that too?
We do. They're just really pricey for commercial.
Really?
Like if you put your DSCR rates up against mine, granted, there's a fine line. Like I'm not sure if your DSCR products could
DSCR, I mean, so let's say good credit, right? Great credit, let's say. Let's say like a 780 credit score.
Right.
Okay? And I'm doing 20% down and It's a single family, even up to a 4 unit.
Right.
Low sevens.
Yeah, that's crushes
You know.
commercial DSCR. Commercial DSCR, if we were to do, let's say it was, let me think of a good one, 4 unit, bottom floor retail, or just say bottom floor retail and 10 apartments upstairs, right? So 12 units in total. You're looking at that if you wanted to go DSCR, even if it cash flowed fine, good credit, you're looking high eights.
High eights.
High eights.
Which is not terrible.
It's not terrible, but it's really hard to make those deals pencil when they're priced so aggressively on market. These commercial listing brokers, the good ones have their sale or the listing prices down to a science.
Okay.
Like they're underwritten perfectly to where
It needs to be.
yeah, but just enough to where you can't just walk in and get a loan for 20% down. You need to be putting 35 down or something
Right.
in that realm.
Right. Well, the more money you put down on the DSCR, the lower the rate.
Not lower the rate, but lower the debt service monthly, which is going to boost the
Which
cash flow.
you got to get that ratio.
Exactly.
What is it? Is it 1%
Or sometimes we're 1-to-1. That's DSCR high rate, but typically we're 1.25, so 1.25.
Yeah. You know, I'm seeing more companies come out now with DSCR no ratio.
Really? They're just not underwriting them anymore.
Right.
I guess.
Is that crazy?
It's 2008 all over again.
Right.
I was 7 years old.
Like I'm getting
I'm
getting emails saying, "Hey, we just came out with this great product, no ratio, DSCR." What?
yeah.
So you just buy it. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't make
It could
any
be
sense.
like $10,000 under that they don't care.
Right.
You know, they're coming out with some wild things.
Yeah.
They just came out with a 10% down investment property.
Really?
Single family.
That's
Full
impressive.
doc, but
Yeah.
10% down.
Right. That's
Rates
so
in the low
impressive.
sevens. Really.
Wow.
That's how. You know
That's
what it is, and let me tell everybody what's going on in the market. It's slow.
Mhm.
It's slower than what anybody likes.
Yeah.
Right? These banks want money coming in. These mortgage companies want money coming in. They don't like slow.
Yeah.
So they're going to open up products like 2008
Mhm.
and open up the market again because they want business.
Yeah.
And the slower it gets, the more crazier the stuff you're going to see hit the market.
Yep.
You're going to see these DSCRs with no ratios. You're going to see credit scores down to, we could do a credit score down to 500 again.
Right. That's incredible.
Okay.
Gosh,
500 even.
if that trickles over to commercial, we're in trouble.
It's insane.
We're in trouble.
You guys will feel right.
Yeah.
It'll just be,
We're 700 minimum across the board.
there you go. So I'm seeing these things happen and, the conventional loan, you could never get under 620.
Right.
Now I got a 575 approved conventional.
Really?
They're opening slowly
Right.
the floodgates
Right.
on the residential side because they want business.
Yeah. I mean,
You
someone
know,
has to.
They got overhead
Yeah.
and they got to cover it.
If the rates don't want to come down, I mean,
They're right. They're saying, you know what? These rates are stuck in the high sixes.
Yeah.
We got to, let's lend.
right.
Let's open up our warehouse lines and lend,
Right.
and-
Which is impressive.
Right. It opens up a big key part of the market, but it worries me too.
Yeah.
Because things are going to start getting like, we have another one where it's a primary residence, no income, no ratio, it's no nothing.
Yeah.
It's like you need a credit score and you're
Yeah.
in.
Yeah. Need a credit
Yeah,
score
this
to buy
is
a car too. Right. Or
You need
at
a
least an
pulse.
apartment.
You need
Yeah.
a pulse.
It's
Gotten
Yeah.
that. They're not doing it on every deal, but I'm seeing it more open. Like it's hard to decline a deal. If you really want to find somebody, they're
Right.
going to do it.
right. I think we need to start rerunning The Big Short in theaters.
Yeah, The Big Short.
That's gotta come back out
We're
in
getting back
theaters.
into The Big Short, which
Yeah.
is an awesome movie.
Incredible.
But it feels like we're on the edge of something like that
Right.
coming because the market's been so bad for the last 4 years that these banks they've had it.
Right.
They're like, we got to lend,
Right.
to open the floodgates. So.
It's understandable.
So we'll see what happens there. All right. So give us some advice if I want to get in the market now versus 2020
For commercial.
for commercial or residential, because I know you know residential people too.
I do.
And I know you have both sides. It feels like
I do, but I
because
can't.
you talk to those guys.
Yeah, correct. But I can't walk that walk. I can't.
Yeah.
So I
All
like
right.
to,
Well, let's
I
take
like
the
to stick in
commercial.
my own lane.
Let's say I want to join McCann's team as a new commercial guy,
Oh, so
and I don't have any experience. Can I do it?
You can do anything. I'm going to come back to your question, but I think this is something good to say.
Yeah.
I think 2 weeks into working with McCann, I was sitting in the office empty, as you mentioned. McCann walks in No one's in there. And this is just the commercial team, wasn't his residential team, but
It's probably like, where the hell is everybody?
yeah, except for me. And I'm sitting there in the corner working as a junior in college, 20
He
years
probably
old.
said, that's a shock. This kid's in
And
here every day.
he's like, this kid's still in here. But anyhow, he grabs me by the shoulder. He says, John, he's like, come here. We're in the Broad Street office, walks me down to his private office. He puts his arm around me. He's like, you look up on the wall. And he's got this poster. And I can't recite all of them, but essentially it had, probably 30 different quotes in this poster saying, never give up. You can do anything you want, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And he just sat there and drove that into me just to build my foundation off of that, which hopefully I can build others' foundations off of that.
Sure.
But truthfully, if you have the endurance, the tenacity, the resilience, really the enthusiasm to grow, you can do anything.
Now, if I come in with no experience on the commercial side right now, I guess they would put me under somebody right away
You would go under someone,
a mentor or whatever it may be.
You would go under someone, you'd be running tours, you'd be running tenants around if you're on the brokerage side. I just brought on someone below me, really alongside me, honestly. I just brought him on and I threw him on deals. We did like a 2-month training behind the curtain with him, before he really came on. I said, hey, I'm going to give you 2 months, a few times a week, we're going to go in on Zooms or in person for hours. I'm going to show you how this whole business works. So by the time you get out in the field, like you're strong.
And they're not paying you for this, right? I mean, it's not like a salary they're giving you. You're doing this because you want to do this.
I of course, yes, to myself and the company want to grow, but I love seeing others grow. Just the way Mike and Jim and Esty look at me, and they years ago, I no connections or minimal connection to real estate, and they looked at me and like, we just want you to grow. We see your enthusiasm. Let's water that. So it can happen. It's just like you said, you have to have enthusiasm and endurance,
and that's not easy.
Double E, enthusiasm and endurance. If you have those two, you can do anything you want.
Right. So you're planning to stay on the team for as long as it comes?
Of course. And, I don't have a crystal ball. I can't say exactly what my future is going to look like. But what I can say is 2 partners, Mike McCann and Jim Onesti, they've had a lot of trust in me. They've went out on a limb for me. They, led me in the right direction, and I've only excelled my career. So that's something, I wouldn't want to walk away from. And I think they're great guys to work alongside just on a personal level.
Because he's got the name in the city, right? There's nobody.
He's got the name, but he's just a genuine person.
Yeah.
It's
right. Because he's been in it for a long time.
Right.
He's mentored how many guys?
Right.
I mean, and Onesti's been with him, I think, forever.
30 plus years. That Onesti was, I believe, his first agent that Mike brought on.
Oh my God.
Cool story. Yeah. If I'm correct there, I want to say it was late 80s or early 90s. So it's been a while, but.
And then heading into social media, you don't do many videos, do you?
I don't. I used to. I've kind of ebbed and flowed. My biggest thing that I wrestled with was I'd rather be, and not that I'm against it, but I would rather spend an extra hour or 2 a week on the phones and chasing more deals
than doing the video.
That's just, and not to say, I just think social media is incredible, but it's a compliment. It's the 10 or 20%. I'd rather focus on that at 80.
I see so many videos now with so many realtors and loan officers doing video.
Yeah.
It seems like it's every other post.
Yeah.
They're just doing video.
Right.
Isn't that a little overkill? Isn't that a little, we're looking at the same thing?
Yeah.
I get it, right?
Yeah.
You have to brand yourself and you have to do all that stuff, right? Of course. And it's your own company that you're basically working for.
Right.
You're working for yourself, even though you work under a company name.
Yeah.
Right. So, but it's the same message on every single one of them. Use me
or hear something about the market, right? Or
market information that people don't necessarily care about.
What I would rather have is, hey, this guy Alex, he crushed it on a deal for us. You guys should work with him. That's what I'd rather
on video.
No, what I'm saying is instead of having maybe the video, I think the video presence and social media presence really rounds you off as a professional. I think it's great.
Sure.
But if I had to choose between that or having the warm introduction from a referral, it's a no-brainer.
It's a no-brainer.
If someone says to me, or if a client's talking about me, like, hey, use this guy John, he crushed it for us on our last deal. That client is, and
it's a warm handle.
100% going to go with me versus
1,000. They won't even shop you because they trust the warm handle.
Exactly. So
you're not going to get deals off of video.
No, but they're going to round you off.
They're going to just recognize your face.
Yeah.
Right. And it's going to be your brand. And then they're going to say, okay, I know.
Which has power. I will say that.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Sirhan, right? He's on,
yeah,
he's on video
exactly
24/7. I mean, that's what he does,
exactly.
But
he started off a video.
Yeah, he's on video.
But he built his entire career in the business, not necessarily. And I don't know him 10 years ago, but
Right.
I would assume he wasn't posting that many videos as he does now. And he's focusing more on getting more deals and referrals. And now that he has that massive pipeline built and everyone knows him from his business and his referrals, now he's saying, okay, let's focus on social media presence.
Is he on the commercial end here too? Like, do you guys go up against? No. So
he has and I don't know his business. I know he has an office here in Philly, a residential team, but we don't see them.
You don't see that.
No.
Who's your biggest competitor on the commercial lending side?
That's how no one.
There's nobody.
Well, that's really. I don't like to say.
That's awfully cocky. No,
I don't like to say it that way. I like to say, hey, we can all.
He's like nobody.
No.
I like that.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah. I always feel. Like
I would say if you're gonna call anyone or any commercial lender at 10 p.m., I'm probably gonna be the only one who answers.
You're hungry.
I'm hungry, but I'm also.
Did you hear what he just said? I'll answer the call at 10 p.m.
Yeah, it's that simple. I think that's all it takes, because it's when I see that phone ringing. Yes, at first I get that. Oh,
you're not married, are you?
No.
No. See, that's a huge plus.
So it's, there's a lot more time.
Huge plus.
Yeah. So you can answer the phone at 10 p.m. and
you can right.
But
you know what it is? You got the world right now because you don't have kids and a wife, and you can grind.
But I'm preparing for that one day. So that I can take maybe a step out of work when I'm in my mid to late 30s and focus on family. I just feel that's what it's about. I feel 20s are meant for work.
I think nowadays nobody's getting married in their 20s anymore anyway. It feels like everybody's pushing it to the 30s anyway.
Yeah.
And having kids in the 30s.
Yeah.
And,
which
right. It's a different generation you guys are.
It is.
That their work.
A lot of my friends, I'm more of a, get married as soon as you can kind of guy. So a lot of my friends are military. They're all getting married at 19, 20, 21.
Right.
So I'm a little more used to that, but I do know what you mean. Across the board, nationally, people are getting married way later.
In this commercial team, is there a lot of young single guys? Is it, or is it all old heads that are been in the business a long time?
I'd say across the spectrum, it's a fair mix.
It's a mix.
Okay. We have some younger guys, guys with newborns, guys that just got married, older guys that have 2-3 kids.
Right. There's some mix.
Yeah, even mix, easily.
Yeah.
But.
Listen, hearing about the commercial lending side is always good because it gives you another perspective on what's going on out there. And I think you guys, if there's going to be a crash, do you think there's going to be a crash in the market?
We're kind of on that blend and extend, right?
This is I always end off with this question because I always want to hear.
Right.
And plus, a guy like you, because I don't know your side, and I know you guys see things that we probably don't.
Yeah.
On a broader spectrum of the market.
Yeah.
You probably see crashes even before we know, because it seems like, does it hit the commercial side first? Then it boils down into the residential side.
Correct.
So what do you see?
So I don't have a crystal ball and I do not know everything by any means. I'm not an economist.
Well, then I don't know why you're on here. All right?
That's fair.
I want to know the truth. All right? What's going on?
So I would say we're actually in a little bit of an interesting time. So we had, a year or two ago, we had all of the headlines talking about all of the commercial debt that was coming due on office multifamily because people that were in 2-3% rates and their deals were penciling and they underwrote them at 2 or 3%. Now
the bubbles came due.
Yeah, their loans are maturing and they have to refinance in the 6 to 8%
balloon payments, I guess.
Exactly.
Right.
Yes, we do. Every commercial loan is on a balloon term. So it's
if you don't know what a balloon is, it's you do a deal and then 4 to 5 years later, maybe even less than that.
It's typically 5
years,
5-year notes. So what it means is that loan's going to be amortized over 25 years, but it's going to come due in year 5.
All in one shot.
Yeah, and it's normal because you would refinance in commercial lending.
It's like an adjustable rate. And you got to refi after 5 years because it's going to adjust.
Think of it like refixing every 5 years.
Right.
The logic behind that is commercial lending is a lot more volatile and risky than, let's say, a single family would be with a family in there.
Sure.
Lenders want to stay on top of their debt obligations and what's on their balance sheets. So they want to constantly be re-upping the loans they have out in the market to make sure, okay, is this deal penciling over here? Is this building we're in now making enough money to cover the debt service? Because if it isn't, they're going to call that loan due, and that bank's going to get out of that deal, and they're not going to renew it or relend.
Right. They're done.
They're out.
So, and I saw this in New York where there, all these balloons came due.
Yeah.
And New York took a major shot.
Yeah. Philly did too.
And I'm sure Philly did too.
Is
that happening even more and more and we just don't even know about it?
Well, I think a lot of it's getting reabsorbed. So that wall of debt that was coming due, I call it in the market, we call it blending and extending. So banks they're giving these borrowers or these sponsors a lot of grace. So they're saying, hey, we'll extend it for a year, pay us these penalties here.
Extend the balloon.
Yeah. We're going to extend it for a year. Because the reality of it is if you have $1 million loan, and I've heard this.
What happens if we get to a year and then it's still not,
they just keep
extending.
In a lot of those cases, yes. Now, granted, is there an end all be all? Yes, but it's okay. If I'm an operator of a piece of commercial real estate as an investment in the bank and I'm up against the wall and the bank's going to give me a year or 24 months to find a solution, you're going to find a solution.
Sure.
Whether that be bringing in additional equity to pay down the loan balance.
Right. So they're giving you time to find a solution.
Or exit the asset, yes. So I think that wall that made headlines of, all the debt's coming due, that really scared a lot of people. Probably more of a media / investor play. But I see a lot of that being absorbed. And we're in an interesting time now following 2025 with the new tax bill. Corporations, companies, and something that is not being talked about a lot. I think this impacts probably everyone in this room. Companies and corporations, they have a lot more cash on hand following that tax bill, especially come September when everyone files, that's on extensions, files.
Right.
So we're going to be going into the end of 2026 here and into early 27 with even down to the mom and pop investor or big corporations with a lot more cash on hand that they saved in their taxes. And that's going to get deployed.
Yeah.
So
that's good news, or
I would say that's good news. Yeah.
Right. I'm taking that as good news.
That's definitely good news. That's why I say we're in a little bit of a weird, because you have definitely mounting debt maturities, but you have now more cash in the consumer and the investor's pockets, right? How do they counteract each other? We're going to see, but
on the residential end, the big worry is that the values have gone way too high.
Yeah.
The prices of houses have gone way too high.
Yeah.
People are buying at the very top end. And the only way it can go is down.
Right. Right.
I don't know if I believe that though, because it just seems like it keeps going up and up and up.
Yeah.
I guess there is a ceiling after a while.
Yeah.
That'll hit that eventually it has to come down.
Right.
I just don't know when that's going to be.
That would be more of a question I'd have for you on the residential
side.
Right.
That's the $1 million question I think everybody has.
What's different for commercials? Yes, we see values going up, but it's backed by, for a 10 unit, it's backed by all of the tenants that are paying rent.
Yeah, right.
Because we derive the value of a property based upon the income.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily emotion buying with homes. It's financial.
And do you guys care about the interest rate, or does it in commercial? It is what it is. Because everything with residential is interest rate driven, as everybody knows.
Yeah, it's kind of the same thing. So,
does it matter because you're getting? It's not like people are shopping you on a commercial loan, are they?
Not very often. If they do, I tell them to shop me.
Yeah, it's like
that's our benefit. Is like, hey, we're going to get you the actual best deal in the market. But what I see with rates is the rate goes up, price of the real estate is going to go down. Because these investors and operators in commercial real estate, they know they need to make an exit when they're selling a building. Okay. So it isn't a seller that's saying, hey, I know what I have, take it or leave it, like a Facebook Marketplace guy, right? They're at some point going to say, there's no investors that's going to buy our deal because the rates are so high right now. We need to lower our price, and vice versa. Rates go down, prices of real estate is going to go
through the ceiling,
through the moon.
Right. That's what people don't understand. Yeah. Everybody's calling me saying, Alex, next year I think it's going to go into the 5s, right? And it's like, great.
Yeah.
You know what's going to happen then?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to be able to refinance because you're stuck at 7 right now and you want to go to 5. Wonderful.
Right.
But for the people that are buying, the values are going to
keep going,
explode because you're going to have everybody jump in the market.
Exactly.
Right. And it's going to drive everything up.
Exactly. I'd rather buy.
It doesn't matter then if the rate's low because you're paying a lot more.
I'd rather buy a deal or even a house at a higher rate, get the property at maybe a little bit of a lower price. And then when those rates do magically come down to 4 or 5%, you refinance out, you have the deal at a lower price and you have your rate.
Yeah. Well, that's the typical marry or date the rate, marry the house.
Exactly.
Or,
exactly.
Meaning that you can refinance. You can always refinance.
Right.
And then you'll have your house, but the rates just is temporary.
Right. Right. It really is.
So This guy's been great, man. I mean, he's.
I appreciate it. I could talk here for a year.
Knowledge, I mean, an hour flies by because you don't even know, where the time flies.
Right.
But you're a wealth of knowledge. I think that there's not many guys like you because I meet a lot of guys.
Yeah.
That want to work.
I love
and
it.
are sharp and on it.
Yeah.
So I think you got a big career ahead of you. Plus, you got McCann behind you. You probably won't wind up opening your own company. I'm sure.
We'll see.
Down the road, it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
As far as commercial lending, that's a great market to be in. I think it's always there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And the fluctuations are not as hard as residential. Residential, we're very tied to the interest rate.
I couldn't agree.
We're very tied to to things that are out of our control.
Right.
Versus commercial, it's more, you got more control.
They have to do deals, right?
You got to do
Businesses
a deal.
have to move. Companies need to move.
Right.
Investors need to buy new assets and sell old assets.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's always going to keep churning.
Right. You own your own house?
No, I'm in. I
You
own
can
commercial.
go buy your own house.
I own commercial real estate. I know a guy for that now.
You have a guy for that.
I do.
No, I know you do.
No, I don't.
You haven't dipped your nose yet, huh?
No, it's
that's
just,
good.
I
That's
like
right. It's a crazy market to dip your nose in anyway as a first time buyer. So I would be reluctant to probably.
My money's going into commercial real estate. That's all I'm buying right now.
Really?
That's all because I know it. I have deals come across my desk, so it works out well.
Right.
If we have deals that we can't finance,
you jump in and say, okay,
I'll shoot you an offer. Sure. That's how it goes on deals.
That's awesome.
So it's a great into the market. And I just like the flexibility of, like I told you, I'm not married. So I like the flexibility of not having a home yet, go wherever I want.
Right.
So.
And you can live in a commercial building, sure. Why not?
That'd be a little aggressive. Mattress on the floor.
Pull that up. Hey, I live here. What are you talking about? I own this too.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
All right.
It's been great.
I will touch base with you soon.
Yeah.
We'll have you back on.
Awesome.
And say hi to Mike McCann.
I can always do that. Definitely.
And roll on, guys. We'll see you next week. Another great show on tap. I'm sure we're going to get somebody right off the street, another frontline guy. That's all we bring on. So thank you for your knowledge, and see you guys next week.